WSIB Health and Safety Excellence Program. I know time is a very precious commodity, so we will get right into it. I'd like to start with introducing our panelists today. First, I'd like to express special thanks to Sarah. Thank you very much, Sarah, for your time being with us here today. Sarah Angel is the President and Chief Executive Officer of the Greater Toronto Hotel Association. Mrs. Angel has over 25 years of experience in the realm of government relations. She has served in a number of political positions with the Ontario government, including communications, policy, and Chief of Staff to the Minister of Northern Development and Mines and Environment, Energy, Natural Resources, and Health. Founded in 1925, the Greater Toronto Hotel Association has been serving the hotel industry of the Greater Toronto area for over 90 years. A major stakeholder in the tourism industry, the GTHA is the voice of the Greater Toronto area's hotel industry, representing 160 hotels with approximately 36,000 guest rooms and 32,000 employees. The GTHA is dedicated to serving the interests of its members on issues of public policy and advocates to raise the profile and prosperity of the GTHA members as a vital component of the hospitality industry. Our WSIB panelist today is Lasha Kanili. Lasha Kanili is a health and safety excellence consultant at the Workplace Safety and Insurance Board. She has over 22 years of experience at the WSIB in the areas of claim adjudication, program evaluation, and health services, including over 16 years working in health and safety programs. Lasha has delivered numerous health and safety information sessions and training programs. She has conducted workplace assessments for many businesses to help them build and improve their health and safety programs. Lasha is passionate about helping business owners understand their health and safety obligations so that they can implement effective health and safety programs to keep their workers healthy and safe. Our panelists from Forest Consulting Services today are Sophie and John. Sophie is the Vice President of Operations, Strategy, and Services for Forest Consulting Services, who holds a degree in Occupational Health and Safety from the Toronto Metropolitan University. Forest was founded in 2004 and initiated the use of a combined approach of consulting, training, and software system to help organizations develop, implement, and sustain their occupational health and safety program. As a member of many boards and associations, Sophie is delighted to give her expertise and time. She has received many recognitions and awards for her passion, work, and vision. John is the Director of Business Development Department at Forest Consulting Services. John has over 20 years of experience as an executive leader working with Fortune 500 companies before working with Forest Consulting. And John will be giving us a detailed presentation on how Forest will be supporting GTHA members through the program. Now, before I hand it over, we're recording this webinar for social media platforms. Now, I would like to conduct a poll to have a better understanding of the needs and requirements of the audiences present here today. With that information, we'll be able to take care of everyone during our presentation to see what you have and what you don't have along the journey. So I will start a poll now, and you can see that pop up on your Zoom control panel. So I'll probably give everyone 1 to 2 minutes to finish the poll, and then we'll start. And we encourage everyone to participate in the poll to have a better understanding of the needs of our audiences today. Let's give it another minute. Okay, let's end the poll now. And most of our audiences today have more than 100 employees, and most of our audiences do have a dedicated health and safety resource, which is really nice to see. And a lot of our audiences today are interested in the WSIB health and safety program. And let's start the webinar. So now I would like to hand it over to Sarah for an opening speech.
Thank you, Sabrina. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. So I joined GTHA on December 1st, just before Christmas. So this is my third month under my belt, with Christmas and the shortest month of the year in the mix. So it's been a challenging but exciting time. There's much to learn as I'm new to the industry, and I welcome the opportunity to hear from you, our members, what the GTHA can do to assist you in your roles and at your hotels. So we're bringing you this session in an effort to find savings and provide learnings from the WSIB. And a great thanks to 4S for fantastic partnership and to WSIB for participating. We hope you'll take advantage of this opportunity as our members, and thank you very much again. And I guess I'll turn it either back to Sabrina or to Sobi and the 4S team. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much, Sarah. And we look forward to serving the GTHA clientele, and we work with many different associations in partnership. And our intention with these partnerships is to give tailored solutions for the membership and bring the value add that is needed for the membership. So we look forward to serving your membership. And today is presentation and the webinar is focused on the WSIB's pandemic relief support. That's how it started last year. In the middle of, it was actually end of June when WSIB announced that they do want to focus with small business. What they qualify as small business is 100 or less full-time headcount. So you may say that most of you have more than 100, but when you have a lot of part-time staff as part of your organization, it does not include as full-time headcount. And Leisha can actually expand a little bit more on those details when she is doing her presentation. And as part of this, this is a great initiative. That's why Forest is very excited to serve a greater variety of our client base, different sectors, because for small to medium-sized business, our definition of small can range anywhere in between, less than 50 employees, less than 100 employees, but majority of the hotels are independently owned, and you may fall under that mid-size, small to mid-size with 100 full-time headcount. It is a great initiative that WSIB is doing to build a safety management system in small block-size pieces. It's like putting a puzzle together to get an entire safety management system come out of it. And it is a great initiative because you do get financial incentive for successfully completing each of these topics. And Leisha will go over, there are 36 topics, and you can choose to participate this on an ongoing basis. Typically, WSIB says it's about a 5-year process till you actually come with the full gamut of the safety management system that is needed for your organization. And then from there, you can actually apply to become the safest employers in Ontario, the SOCI program that is provided by the Prevention Office, the Chief Prevention Officer. It is a prestige to get there, but before that, you do need to validate and make sure that you have a fully robust health and safety management system in place that is being well managed and maintained. From my experience as a lead auditor for ISO 45001 and core external auditor and many other audits that we do, one of the things I advise to all the clients is a lot of people claim that they have a robust health and safety management system in place. But the key question is your program kept alive on a day-to-day basis? What are you doing to keep the program alive, and what are some actions have you taken towards sustainability of your safety management system? I want all of you who are here today to take a moment to possibly think about possible type of scenarios where accidents and incidents can actually happen. What type of accidents and incidents, especially in a hotel, workplace violence and harassment is a huge exposure because you have public coming in and you have no control over that. And there are many questions coming about 100 full-time. This program does apply to everybody, but the double rebate is intended for anybody who have 100 or less full-time headcount. But the single rebate is available for any organizations. You could have 1,000 employees, 10,000 employees, but you can definitely tap into the single rebate. But going back to what I was talking about with incidents and serious occurrences, just take a moment and think about the serious occurrences that can possibly happen at your work location. And if that was to happen, can you prove due diligence? As an employer, can you prove that you have done everything reasonable under the circumstances to protect your employees? So from a due diligence aspect, think about that, because the small bite-sized pieces of programs that you're going to build or revamp or implement is going to help you prove due diligence and small bite-sized pieces. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Lisha to go over the program, and we are here to answer any questions. And when we are wrapping up, I'll actually give you a few tips and tools on sustainability of your safety management system as well. Thank you all for joining us today. Your time is very valuable, and I am very sure you are going to walk away with a lot more understanding of the various different opportunities to improve your program while tapping into the financial resources that's available. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sophie, for the opening. Now let's have Lashia's giving us a presentation on the WSIB Health and Safety Excellence Program in 2020.
Excellent. Thank you. Can you see my screen? Perfect.
Yes. We can.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for allowing me to present today. As mentioned earlier, my name is Lasha Keneally, and I'm a Health and Safety Excellence Consultant at the WSIB. Way back in 2019, the WSIB introduced the Health and Safety Excellence Program, which is an incentive program for employers to work on their health and safety topics and also gain financial and non-financial incentives for doing this. And there are many companies still recovering from the pandemic, and this program can help them through this time by improving their health and safety in the workplace. As mentioned by Sobi earlier, we have also added an additional incentive for smaller businesses with fewer than 100 full-time employees. So we have all sizes of employers taking part in the program, but there are additional incentives for smaller businesses under the Smaller Business Pandemic Support part of this program. And I'm going to outline that and explain that in detail in the later slides. What you're going to learn today, well, we're going to talk about the benefits of health and safety, why you're here today, how the Health and Safety Excellence Program works for you, the additional supports for smaller businesses, and also some available resources. When you're thinking of this program, it's important to think about, why are you here today? And, how would you like to improve, your health and safety program? Are you at the point of starting out or restarting your health and safety? Are you looking to focus on certain policies? So, if you look at this list here, what is your reason for focusing on health and safety? Are you planning to work on communication, training, evaluation, making improvements? And wherever you are in your health and safety journey, this program is for you, whether you're starting out, whether you have a program, whether you're working on formalizing, what you have in place. There is something here for every company, whether you're smaller, larger, medium-sized, very large. Everyone's working on health and safety. So keep that in the back of your mind as we're going through the slides here as well. So let's start a bit with the actual benefits of investing in health and safety. You can earn a return on your investment, and you're getting money back and saving money. So recent research conducted by the Institute for Work and Health shows that the average tangible and intangible return on investment is between $1.24 to $2.14 for every dollar invested in health and safety. And what that means is for some businesses, the return is double their initial investment. On top of this, the WSIB's Health and Safety Excellence Program is an incentive program, meaning you will be rewarded for implementing health and safety programs with rebates on your WSIB premiums. And finally, investing in your workplace health and safety means you are reducing the risk of your employees getting injured at work. And this also helps you avoid costs, whether it's direct costs such as claim costs or indirect costs such as hiring replacement workers or temporary workers to fill in if there's an injury at work. And we can also agree that, by taking part in this program, you can strengthen your business's reputation. As we all know, that's a really important thing right now. And a strong and positive reputation means you can attract employees and also retain your employees. By joining the Health and Safety Excellence Program, you also receive a member badge to display, to show your customers, to show your employees that health and safety is your priority. And it's also displayed on the WSIB's public website called Safety Check. And Safety Check is a tool for the public to use to see how safe a business is. And they can see things like injury and illness trends and types of injuries, but also they can see that you are a member of the Health and Safety Excellence Program on Safety Check as well. And then most importantly, you want to keep your employees happy, healthy, and safe. So by investing in health and safety, that really improves health and safety workplace culture, and it protects your employees and the people who they engage with on a day-to-day basis as well. To understand this program, it's important to understand the system, the Compass system, which is, our program aligns with the WSIB's new premium rate setting model, not so new, 2020, so it's a few years old, which began in January of 2020. And your experience with WSIB claims is built into your rates and encourages you to improve health and safety. And as an employer, you have access to Compass, and Compass is through your online services. And Compass is an online support tool that you can use to understand your health and safety profile and identify areas for improvement. And this can be accessed through the WSIB's e-services. As you can see on the slide, it includes the types of injuries, costliest injuries, premiums, claim costs, and for the purpose of this program, your WSIB premiums from the previous year and also your predictability percentage is needed to help determine the rebate for participating in the Excellence Program. As I mentioned earlier, the general public has access to Safety Check, which is general health and safety statistics, but Compass is the company's personal information and all the detailed information related to, their premiums, their injuries, etc. And so, it's important to know, the public is very interested in whether you're a safe employer, whether someone's looking for a job or just looking into it. So it's important to work on your health and safety. And by being a member of the Health and Safety Excellence Program, they can see with the badge on Safety Check that you are a member and that you are dedicated to health and safety in your organization. So in terms of the business case for the Health and Safety Excellence Program, the Health and Safety Excellence Program has building blocks to help you meet legislative requirements. And that's really where a lot of people start off. They want to find out what the laws are, and they want to comply with health and safety laws. You also work with an approved provider, and here we have 4S. And so they work with you directly to work on your health and safety topics. By taking the step to sign up with the Health and Safety Excellence Program, you are rewarded with badges as previously mentioned, and these digital badges can be displayed to help promote your business. It can be displayed online and email signatures, and it differentiates you from your peers and attracts customers and talent as well. And on top of the badges, you also receive rebates on your WSIB premiums. They can help further improve the return on investment that you are making. And then you can continue to invest in health and safety year after year. Finally, by enrolling in the program, your employees will feel great working for a business that cares for and prioritizes their health and safety. And that's really important. It improves health and safety and also improves employee morale. So that's a very important thing as well. And I'm also excited to share, as Sobi has mentioned, as of June last year, we announced additional financial support for smaller businesses with fewer than 100 full-time employees. And these businesses are eligible for $1,000 financial support after they sign up with a provider, and that's to help in terms of fees, as well as double rebates for any topics completed by the end of this year, 2023. So that's a huge incentive. We're seeing a huge uptick in smaller businesses with fewer than 100 full-time employees because of these incentives. And if you fall into that category, please consider that, or even if you fall above that category, please consider it, because this program allows you to work on health and safety, earn financial support, in terms of financial incentives, but also non-financial incentives for taking part as well. The Health and Safety Excellence Program is organized along 3 different levels. There are 36 topics in the program. And you are not doing this alone. You are working with 4S to work on your health and safety topics. And they are supporting you and guiding you along the way and helping you with templates and information to help you implement your health and safety topics. If we look at the first level, the foundation level, this lays the groundwork of a basic health and safety program. There are many legislative requirements in this level, and I'm going to show you the actual topics in the next slide. But also, it's important to perform a risk assessment. That's really an important step in understanding your health and safety needs as well. And so that's, a lot of companies are in the foundation level, and that's quite okay. There are many companies that are enrolled currently as well in the intermediate level. And level 2 is where you start working on a health and safety management system, and you integrate your health and safety into the processes and operations of your organization. Whereas level 3 is where you optimize your system. So there are companies that are, some of them are larger or that have very, robust health and safety programs, and they are working on level 3 topics. So there's something here for every type of company, whether you're just starting out with health and safety or you have health and safety. And also, as we mentioned, there are some unique topics, and we talk about the ministry's accreditation program. The excellence program also has some unique topics offered. And, the goal really is to kind of improve your health and safety and keep on working towards the advanced system, or even further towards the accreditation system. So that's important to note. Everyone can improve their health and safety program. There are 4 steps to the program, and the first step is joining, and it's really the stage you're at now. You're kind of the pre-joining stage. So you join by registering with the provider. And for those that have fewer than 100 full-time employees, after you join them with the provider, you receive a rebate of $1,000 from the WSIB afterwards. So that's important to note. So that there is that incentive to join for smaller businesses. If that was a barrier, now we've tried to reduce that barrier by providing that additional financial support for these smaller businesses. In that join stage, you're signing up with a provider, but you're also choosing topics to work on, to implement. And we talk about implementing 1 to 5 topics. And if with the double incentive, some of you might be considering implementing them before the end of the year for those of you with fewer than 100 full-time employees, or that might be your timeline anyway. It's still quite early in the year. You could do it by the end of the year. And the second stage, really, once you pick your topics, you're developing your topics, you're working on the topics, you're working with 4S, and you're embedding these topics into your day-to-day business, you're implementing them, and the provider's helping you through all of this. And so that's where a lot of the work is the develop stage, and you're being supported by your provider 4S throughout the stage. Under step 3, this is towards the end, you're demonstrating that you have implemented the topics, and 4S will guide you through this as well. So you're demonstrating this to the WSIB that they are complete, that you have implemented the topic, that you have gone through the steps to ensure that you have the procedure in place, you've trained people, and you've assessed whether things are working or things need to be changed in order, into the future, for example. And then once that is done, the final stage is the achieve step. That is where you get the reward of taking part in the program, and you achieve the financial incentives for taking part in the program. So that's important. There's a huge incentive financial. We're going to go into the rebate calculations shortly. And so as I mentioned earlier, there is an additional double rebate as well for the smaller businesses with fewer than 100 full-time employees as well. So to join the program, you work with a provider. Your provider is working with you. So 4S is working with you through all the steps, through all the stages of the Health and Safety Excellence Program journey. And the provider provides templates, materials, training, support, phone calls, whatever is needed to support you through this process. And there is additional financial support for those of you that have fewer than 100 full-time employees after you sign up with a provider. It's important to note that as well. So that's a huge incentive for a lot of the smaller businesses that are joining right now as well. And this additional incentive is to the end of 2023, as you can see in the slides as well. Now, here are the program levels and topics. As I mentioned, there were 3 different levels, and the foundational levels has basic legislative requirements, first aid, for example, doing a risk assessment. The intermediate level, there are some that are very popular, such as emergency prevention, preparedness, emergency response, and return to work topics. As you can see, there are 3 return to work topics, and we encourage companies to take, if you're planning to do return to work, to do all 3 together, and they count as 3 different topics. And in terms of the rebates, it's per completed topics. That's important to note as well. And we'll talk about the rebates in a minute as well. The advanced topics, so for companies that have a very robust health and safety program, there still are some things you can work on, such as doing an external audit or internal audit. Corporate social responsibility might be a topic that might be new to you. So there is something here for everyone to work on and to improve their health and safety program. Now for the rebates. So in terms of this chart, I'm going to try and explain this. So essentially, if you look on the left side of the chart, 1 to 99 full-time employees. This applies to some of you here, and then I'm going to go to the 100 plus employees to explain the rebates. So for 1 to 99 full-time employees, companies that have that, this is the double incentive that we're talking about. So if you have, let's say, premiums of $5,000, and I'm going to, probably a lot of you are larger than that, but I'm going to go into that. For a limited time, your normal rebate would have been $1,000. Well, now we're giving $2,000 per topic. So think per topic. So even with your premiums being $5,000 paid to the WSIB last year, you could get $10,000 back for working on 5 topics. So that's double, and that's really double your premiums in this particular case. So really important to note. You will probably need us to work out your actual potential rebate calculation. So that's okay. And I'm here to support you as well. And if you need help with that. And essentially, it's a double incentive. So those of you with $80,000 in premiums paid to WSIB last year, so there could probably are quite a few, limited time. One topic is $3,200 per completed topic. If you do 5 topics completed, that's $16,000 back from your premiums for doing 5 topics completed by the end of this year in 2023, in addition to $1,000 after you sign up with a provider. So we really want to make this attractive for smaller businesses. It cannot be a barrier for joining. We want we want smaller businesses to improve their health and safety programs, and so we've implemented these double incentives. So very significant. There are companies here that are attending the webinar with 100 or more full-time employees. So on the right-hand side of the screen, if you have, and it really you wouldn't have $2,000 in premiums, but if you have $80,000 in premiums, one topic, $1,600 rebate for completing one topic in this program. And if you do 5 topics, that's an $8,000 incentive for completing 5 topics. So the rebates are significant regardless of the size of the company. They are significant, and they're geared to help you invest in your health and safety program, but also reinvest in your health and safety. That could cover things like expenses like Joint Health and Safety Committee certification training or other types of training, personal protective equipment, whatever is needed for your company at that time. So as you can see by this chart, it's a very general chart, but we can certainly work it out for you as well. And in terms of your actual potential rebate, if that's something that you need to determine before you join the program. So that's something we can work out. But as you can see, whether you are a larger company or a smaller company, the incentives are significant here with our program. As I mentioned many times throughout this presentation, in addition to the financial rewards, you get that digital membership badge. You can also use it on your website, promotional material, marketing material, email signatures, your health and safety board, and most importantly, your badge appears on Safety Check, and that is that public website that I mentioned earlier on the WSIB's landing page. You can see, you can click on that and type in your company name, and you'll see how you appear on Safety Check. So that's really important promotion as well, and it also helps with your employees in terms of making them feel secure and safe that you're taking part in health and safety, but also it really improves their employee morale when they know their company is taking care of them and cares for their health and safety as well. So that's a huge incentive. There are many companies that are actually in it primarily for the badge because that's so important to them as well. And also we have, investing in health and safety also means you're improving your workplace culture. As I mentioned earlier, having a strong workplace culture is the key to, one of the keys to success in your business. And it matters, very much to employees. And if you join the Health and Safety Excellence Program, you get access to a free culture survey, health and safety culture survey. And this gives you a snapshot of how healthy and safe your employees feel in the workplace. And the WSIB is, leverage the Institute for Work and Health's organizational performance metrics survey with additional 5 questions that encompass things like future action, trust, communication, mental health, and social influencers. The survey is easy to complete for your employees, done online, and can also be done offline if you need to, and is anonymous. And this is really it's optional, it's not mandatory, but you issue it to your employees. And that first time you do that survey, that's your baseline. And then as you join the program year after year after year, you send that survey out again, and then you can measure, have things improved in terms of workplace health and safety culture. So that's really important. Based on our initial analysis of 5,000 responses of the culture survey results, there's a strong correlation between a healthy and safe workplace and positive results in trust, employee involvement, and employee empowerment. So that's important to note. So that's kind of a bonus of joining the program as well. We also have institute a thing called an achievement report. And the online digital tool helps track and summarize your hard work. And when you're at that last stage, the achieve stage where you're getting money back from the WSIB, there is also an achievement report, and it includes your culture survey results, total rebate, and the number of topics you completed. So that's something that you can use as a promotional tool to your employees to show, hey, we've completed this. These are our results. You guys, it's all because of you guys. We all work together on this health and safety journey. And so that's a really important thing to promote within your workplace as well. In terms of, what are current customers saying? Well, based on a survey we did with program members in 2021, 88% of them reported they were satisfied with the program and would recommend it to their peers. Also, 90% of members reported an improvement in their health and safety culture, showing that investing in health and safety is very important and it improves your workplace culture as well. I just included my details at the end, but I just wanted to mention that, for further information, please reach out, and we can provide assistance in calculating your potential rebate if that's really important to know before. And, perhaps you have some questions. So I guess I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, and I guess we'll take it over to you, Sabrina.
Yes, thank
Okay.
you very much for the presentation. The information is very clear. I'm sure our audiences will benefit greatly from your presentation of the 2023 WSIB HSEP program. Now, I would like to call upon our Director of Business Development Department, John Turner, to talk about how Forest Consulting Services will be supporting GTHA members to get double the rebates from the WSIB HSEP program. And I will take all the questions into our Q&A session.
Okay, Sabrina, do you have up on the slide deck?
Sure, give me 1 second.
No problem. So good morning, everybody. I'm actually very familiar within your space and hotels through my corporate 20 years of travel. I'm actually pleased to say that I'm a lifetime Titanium Elite member. So you can imagine how many hotel stays I've had. No disrespect to any of the Hiltons or any of the other brands, but that's obviously through the Marriott. A lot of hotels, I think we have about 40 of them, 40 of you on this webinar. And I've been reading some of the Q&As, and a lot of you are over 100 employees. And there's some of you that are under 100. This delivery and program our support is going to be supporting the same if you're over 100 or under 100. It just makes it a little bit more work for you for communication if you have like 500 employees versus say 30 employees. I believe based on the presentation with WSIB, this is a tremendous opportunity, not only for financial reward, but also non-financial reward. And I'll speak to that in a little bit. We are an authorized provider. I would believe we have the most registrations. To date, I think that we're just north of 200 companies that have registered thus far in all different sectors, not just hotel, restaurants, but constructions. And this program, believe it or not, so if you have friends and family that own businesses or are part of a business, this program, you qualify if you pay WSIB premiums. So I'm just going to dive in. I'm going to give you a high level of our support program. And I'm going to answer one question. I think, Jeffrey, you mentioned, do you need a dedicated person to work with us? So I'm going to answer that as we go through our support program, and then also answer any other questions that you may have. Okay, Sabrina, if you can go to the next slide. So our model, and before we go to the next slide, I just want to speak to this. I understand based on sizes, you may not have a dedicated health and safety manager. Most of you may not, for the reasons of, can't justify having that expense. You probably allocated for the Joint Health and Safety Committee, people wearing various hats, but they have other jobs to do. And we understand that. It actually even gets more challenging with companies that are under 50 employees, lack of resource and really, loss of what do we do and how do we do it. So this program and how WSIB really did a great job of having it into 3 different sections of foundation, intermediate, and advanced. And most of the companies that come in start with the foundation, unless you're accredited in safety of some sort, but I'm assuming you guys are not. And we need to make this program easy to deliver. And the reason why that is because lack of resource and lack of bandwidth time. Those are the 2 precious assets that we're trying to manage within small businesses and even large businesses. So I'm going to walk you through our model. And I want you to really understand that we want to make this easy for you because we understand the challenges. We pivoted. When we first started as a provider in 2020, this is all new. And what was happening is that we were asking the clients to do the policy procedures and a few other things where they were struggling on time or what to do. So we pivoted to be able to provide more support to be able to execute this. So therefore you can get the rebate, but more importantly, having a sustainable program or even more compliance. So how we made it easy, when you looked at the topics and we're going to focus on 5 as an example. So if you're paying more than $7,000 in annual premiums, you need to do 5 because let's maximize the rebate. So what we have is a policy and procedure has to be developed for each each topic. So this is where we come in. So these 8 that we've already pre-developed, the templates for the policy procedures, there's going to be a little bit of customization on your part of hotel name or if you're a construction company, the industry, but we guide you through that process and all the different forms in the documents that we're going to provide, because at the end of the day, that's going to make it easier for you to be ready to implement. So I wanted to make sure you understand that you don't really have to dedicate somebody and try to figure out how to create a policy and procedure to align with the topics of the WSB program. We're going to do that. So we're going to alleviate that stress. Next slide, Sabrina. Okay. So we're going to be working with which is called a plan, do, check, act model. So we're going to go with the plan first. And you can see on the very right, that one-time fee of $3,000. Now, when in regards to a company under 100 employees, 100 full-time employees, what we've designed is because of the policies and the procedures and the work that we do, and I'm going to explain to you why we charge that. We used to charge a little less before, but what happened was we were struggling and the clients were saying, if you can do more to make it easier, we would love to pay more because we're going to get a rebate and everybody's happy. So let me walk you through this. You will, and Jeffrey did ask the question, do you need a dedicated person? Yes, you do. And it's not going to be a full-time role. This is going to be somebody that you probably lean on as your health and safety rep, or somebody that if there is, on your committee, that person would be a perfect alignment with our coordinator. So you do get an assigned coordinator from 4S that will be working with your person. Again, the question that you're thinking, and I want to answer this right now, and I'm going to pretend I got this question, is how much bandwidth and dedication of your time is needed in order to execute this whole program. I can speak to, on average, because we have more companies in this. We do have some large organizations that are thousands of employees, don't get me wrong. But in regards to somebody with 100 employees, your role, Jeffrey, if you're the dedicated person as an example, would be communicating all the information that we provide and that what you have to do in regards to your employees. Communicating all the different policies, procedures, and documents and forms, and we're doing some questionnaires and some examples in that nature. Your role is to communicate into your employees, because really the design and the plan work, we're really taking on that biggest role. We're doing that heavy lifting for you. But what you need to do is, we can't do this for you, is to be able to take that information and communicate it effectively to your employees through an online management system if you have it. We do have one if you're looking forward to have opportunities to streamline that. or being able to sit with your employees so they can actually read and sign off that they've read the policy and procedures. And so they understand a little bit about what we're trying to achieve here through this program. Okay, so that's your main role. So let me go through this whole plan act. So as an example, let's say that hypothetically you join. So what would happen is you would get a date option kickoff meeting, like a virtual meeting like we're doing today with our assigned coordinator to your dedicated person. And we would walk through a slide deck from beginning to end, what they're expecting, timelines, expectations, things like that nature. And then what will happen is we will actually figure out the 5 topics. And I'm going to use 5 as an example because all of you, even if you're a small hotel, are paying more than $7,000 a year. So just so you know that between $7,000 and $50,000 in annual premiums, you're getting the same rebate. You're going to get 11 grand. Okay, you're going to get $11,000 net dollars. Okay, so that's the financial reward. The other thing that we do, so we work with you on the 5 topic selection, and then from there we're going to actually put the action plan together, because the WSIB process, we have to follow the process that there has to be an action plan for each topic. So we're going to be doing that. What else we'll do, and this is just as goodwill, assign for mandatory training. And let me explain. And I know the hotel space more as a client or customer, but I understand that there's turnover and full-time, part-time, and you onboard and you have an onboarding process. Just in regards to the Occupational Safety Act, as a minimum requirement that you need to have is assign the mandatory training, which is WMIS, the AODA, workplace harassment, violence and harassment, and safety awareness. The great thing about 4S, because we have our online system library of online trainings, we enable our system at no charge. So if you're a hotel of 50 employees, as an example, and you really have some gaps, and this is no judging here. If you can't have your certificates for mandatory training, what we do is enable our system, it's all e-learning, 30 minutes per module, multiple choice questionnaire, gets the certificate, and then you own that. That's valued at about $120 per person. Just to let you know, that's called the 4 bundle mandatory training. We have a lot of companies calling us weekly that they need to have 10 or 15 or 20 and so on and so forth. Okay, so that's going to help not only with a little bit more guidance on health and safety, and especially the AODA, which is huge within your environment, the Ontario Accessibility Act, that you're going to be able to get that for free. We're also going to be sending you the templates for the policies and procedures of the 5 topics. All right, so we're going to do that. What you're going to do on the bottom as a client, participate in the virtual meeting, which it takes about 20 minutes with our coordinator project manager. You're going to register into the WSIB portal. So we're going to give you clear instructions how to do that. And then your dedicated person with, cross-functional team as an example, because that person, you might have a joint health and safety committee. So this is perfect. So a lot of times when people have a joint health and safety committee with, 2 or 3 or 4 different members, depending on the size you are, sometimes struggle with what to talk about, right? We got to meet monthly or quarterly and all that. This is going to be perfect to alignment of your conversation and engagement on your health and safety committee. So what you're going to do is review the policy and procedures and then customize it accordingly based on your company, sector, and name and what have you. Once that is done, so now you have that plan done. So now you have the documents and the other things that we're going to send you along with the policies and procedures. There's other things that we send you as well to help implement the communication. So then what happens is the do. That's the implementation. So what you have to do now is gather and collect the evidence. So WSIB wants to know, after you design it and created the policy and procedures and have all your documents ready, prove that you're actually implementing it, meaning communicating it to your employees. That's the key thing, communication. And sometimes we lack that, our organizations, of being able to communicate important things to our employees. So this is a great opportunity for you to complete that structure, to mitigate your risk as a general manager. That's your responsibility, obviously, and also being able to provide a better safety onboarding system for your employees. We're going to provide you a checklist. So we got to make this easy. Remember, we're going to give you guidance. So we're going to give you the checklist of what to do and how to implement it. And if you have any questions or confusions, you can be able to speak to your coordinator. But we really make this whole structure easy. You just have to really commit. And I'm going to answer that question I said at the beginning. I'm going to give you an example of a hotel, say a size of 50 or 80. The dedicated resource that we're working with really should be, on average, now everybody's different, 5 hours a month to 6 hours a month of their time. And this is stuff that you're going to understand, the things that you should be doing a little bit anyways of adding some value in health and safety. So that is all the commitment time. Now, the larger organizations with, 100, 200, 400, 500,000 employees, the implementation, but your reward is a lot higher, right? Because I think we looked at one of the examples, 80,000 premiums, you're getting 17,000 net dollars. And we do have some companies, I just want to let you know, because that we are early stage of the year, are getting these done within 5 months and going to be signing up for another 5 to get another double rebate before December 31st. I'm just letting you know. If you want to jump on this very quickly, you're able to have the opportunity, that's up to you, to be able to get 2 double rebates at the end. Now, for the hotels that are on the line going, okay, enough with the under employees under 100, I'm over 100. You're going to get a reward still, and depending on how large you are, I use about a 10% rule of thumb. So if you're paying $200,000 in annual premiums for 5 completed topics, you're going to make around 20 grand, right? With that said, what we do is we have a WSIB calculator, and you go on Compass, you give us your exact WSIB 2022 premiums paid, and then we got to determine what your predictability rate is in the system, 1.4 or under 20% or over 20%. I'm not going to go into the details of that, what that means at this point. That determines if you're going to get a 1.4% payout or 2%. But either way, I use the 10% average. So if you're a hotel and you're talking to your finance department, they're saying we're paying $250,000 annual premiums, you can actually think, okay, I'm going to get $25,000 net dollars, non-tax, because this is coming from the government, which is cool. It's going to help your PML GMs on the webinar. It's always nice. So from there, once we do, what you have to do is collect the evidence and follow our structure, follow our guidance. Okay. Then what happens, we do now the check. So we've done the plan, we've done the implementation, we have some evidence that we've actually put it out to the employees and all that part of it. Now what we need to do is do the final submission. So remember, we're following the WSIB excellence process. So what happens is, again, we make it easy. We send you the final submission checklist to be able to compile with our guidance of all the information to be able to put in one final submission report. That's up to you with our guidance. From there, what happens, you send it back to us. And what we will do is QC it. So we'll quality control, making sure that you captured all the different things and then provide you feedback if there's anything needs to be changed or not. If it's very simple for us to move things around, we will do that before we actually submit it to WSIB and upload everything else. We use our online management system to really help the flow, the whole process within our coordinators working with you, because we do have the technology. We're not a small safety company. We do have over 68 full-time employees that are trainers, consultants, advisors. We've allocated resources, especially for this actual WSIB excellence program. So we do have a team assisting with our clients. And regardless of how many we have registrations, we're able to handle the influx of clients. So we're ready to handle another 200 to 300 based on our resource count. And that is basically it. Once that happens, we will do the follow-up for you, because we have a lot of engagement with WSIB in regards to your, where everybody's at in regards to the submissions. And that's when you're going to get your full rebate. Now, I'm going to speak on this, that normally what happens is we choose 5 topics. Some topics are easier to execute than others. So that means that we may not wait till 5 topics approved before you get the rebate down the road on 5-6 months down the road. If we're able to do the final submission on 2 topics because they're easier, therefore you're going to get some of your rebates up faster and then work on the remaining 3 later. And again, everyone is different based on the topics they're choosing and everything. There was another question somebody said, can I choose some foundation topics or intermediate topics? And my recommendation, I would stick to the foundation, just because if you think about it, there's 3 different badges. And I'm big on brand recognition and marketing and what have you, based on my experience. And knowing that you're able to tackle the first 10 topics, okay, maximizing your rebate in that sector, you're going to get the foundation badge. So not only that you're a member and you get that member badge at the very beginning, you're going to get the foundation badge. And that gives you a tremendous value differential. And then you're going to go in towards the intermediate. Okay. So in regards to actually our support model, doesn't matter if you're 1,000 employees, 100 employees, 50 employees. This is basically the structure, the plan, do, act model, plan, do, check, act model that we use to be able to support for you to get that rebate. Next slide there, Sabrina. You've seen this slide before, and I want to put my business cap on this. This to me is so important. Lisa mentioned about the safety check. This here, you actually get this digital badge just for registration. You can add this right away. It's not like you have to wait to get topics approved and everything else. You take this, you add it to your website, and then all your business development teams, your sales manager, are trying to get the corporate companies to come in. You guys are very highly competitive within the GTA marketplace. This gives a strong talking point. It may not make a big difference of your value add of what you're going to host and your other qualities and values, but it gives you something else to talk about, not explain. So it's always nice to be able to take this and say, you know what, safety is very important to us with the COVID and everything else. We have a lot of different things that we changed. Not only that, we're doing all the different other things that we are a member of the WSIB Excellence Program. Safety is important to us. So within your corporate teams that are coming to our location and what have you, or if a wedding or what, this is something to talk about. And this is really good to align your salespeople to be able to add another talking point in their value differential. And if somebody does do a safety check on you, not everybody will, but believe it or not, there are companies that do. People know about this. And then you'll be popped up as a member of the WSIB Excellence Program. So the financial reward is great. Don't get me wrong. This, to me, is powerful. So not only that, this whole program, and I'm just going to summarize it right here, is that not only that is going to help mitigate your risk as an owner or a general manager, because that's your responsibility, is all that's going to be able to help more of a safety culture for you, for your employees. Everybody has opportunities for improvement. I don't care how good you are as a company of the brand. You know, I worked for 3 Fortune 500 companies and we had gaps. So this is going to help align it. And also, a lot of you don't have a dedicated health and safety team or manager, a dedicated resource. So chances are you probably do have more gaps than you probably even know. And what this WSIB program is going to allow you to is to have better of a system, a process that you're going to be having a coach, guidance to be able to implement and to be able to sustain. And therefore, it's going to be easier for you to onboard employees and be proud of your safety program versus trying to avoid talking about it. Okay, so that's my presentation. And if anybody has any questions, Sobi or myself can answer it.
So thank you so much, John, for explaining our model. I know there were quite a few questions that is on the chat, and I will try to answer as many as I can. And anyone else, WSIB, any one of us can answer any of these questions. My recommendation as a safety specialist, expert, auditor, you may think you have a robust health and safety management system. Unless it is audited and it goes through a safety certification, whether it could be ISO, CORE, SAT 1000, you're not too sure what are the opportunities for improvements. Just step back a little bit and say, it is great to start this journey with WSIB and look at your program and take this as an opportunity to revisit and revamp some of your health and safety management policies and procedures. So you can keep participating in this program. Some of our clients are really large Fortune 500 companies with a very robust health and safety management system, but yet they do take 5 topics at a time. And WSIB did allow this year that you could have 2 or 3 action plans. As long as you complete the topics that you choose, then you could actually create a next action plan and then work on it. So the opportunity to tap into the WSIB incentive is a great way and a great resource support for you to revisit and revamp the program, which is going to help you with your due diligence of keeping your health and safety program alive. Many of us in most organizations do wear many different hats, and therefore health and safety is one of many other priorities. You may not have a dedicated resource or a staff who is constantly looking at it and looking at, updating the policies and procedures to reflect all the legislative changes. Updating, how many of you know even the naloxone training requirement that's coming up for Ontario? These are things that needs to be updated, communicated to your workplace, and then making sure the program is kept alive in a systematic way. The ForSafeCom safety management system that we offer to our clients, that's one of our reasons for partnering with GTHA and many other associations, is the value add. We don't want to just coach you and consult you and provide, JSER training or any other necessary training and leave you with that. We want to leave you with a sustainable solution that you can actually subscribe to the online management platform and keep going, especially in your industry, that it is like a revolving door. People come and leave all the time, and you're recruiting and you're training and doing the orientation. Our online platform will definitely help you with the orientation piece, and to do the monthly inspections, joint health and safety committee meeting minutes, accident trends, so accident investigation trends, all that can be held in a very single place where you can actually access it from your home, just to make sure things are being done on a systematic way and it's kept alive. So there are many different pieces. You can start with the foundational topics and identify certain gaps with your existing management system and start with that, and then move on to the intermediate and the advanced topic. If you decide to do this for the next 3 years or 5 years, 5 topics at a time. Or if you say, you know what, I just want to go into the intermediate topics, then you could do that as well. Or you could take mix from one intermediate, some from your basic foundational topic and some from the intermediate to combine. So those options are available. And as John explained, the model is what we saw as a challenge. And I saw one of the messages from one of our previous clients who engaged in the program in the past is, yes, we do have different models, but this model, the hand-holding model, is the only model that seems to be working to get the maximum rebate that you can possibly get. As I mentioned, all of you are so busy inundated with day-to-day activities. You may not have the resource or the time to focus on this. When you have a dedicated coordinator who's working with you and prompting you to take action and follow up, it's going to help you to take you to the finish line and make sure the proper validation is submitted to get the maximum resource financial support that you can get from WSIB. While we are here, we will be doing more sessions on due diligence. Stay tuned for that, because due diligence is a hot topic. A lot of people do want to know more about how they can approve due diligence for workplace health and safety. Thank you, all of you, for joining us. Leisha, if you have anything else to add, please feel free to do that. I think I have answered most of the questions.
Just a tiny thing that we keep on talking about 100 employees. We mean 100 full-time employees. So I've come across companies, they thought they had 100 full-time employees and they didn't. So the best thing is to check. If you're wondering, it's 100 full-time employees and over is regular rebate, under 100 full-time employees is the double. So there are instances where people didn't know. And so it's always good to check. That's all.
Great point, because I did have a municipality that we checked with your team, Leisha, a couple of weeks ago. They said they had 166 full-time employees or 166 employees on their payroll. And when we checked with WSIB, I believe one of your counterparts confirmed that they are counted as 60 full-time employees, full-time headcount. So that's why I mentioned the part-time employees do not add to the 100 full-time headcount. So many of you may still qualify for the double rebate. The double rebate is a great incentive to tap into, as long as WSIB is honoring, because I tell all of our clients, they're literally giving you money to revamp your health and safety program or to implement a health and safety program. Take advantage of this. Many of our clients that we are working with, we are actually working it on average, it takes about 4 to 5 months to complete the topic successfully. And so let's say 5 months. If you were to start right now, and if you have less than 100 full head count, then you can qualify into the double rebate. So you're possibly looking at, for the first 5 topics, minimum $11,000. to possibly $16,000 or more, depending on the premiums that you have and the predictability. It's either 1.4 to 2 times 2% of what you have paid in rebates. So take advantage of it, revamp your program, and keep making improvements to your program, and then head for the safest employer accreditation, which is the SOCI program, which is a nice prestige to have, and it's a great brand recognition as well. And there are additional financial incentive for 3 years when you become the safest employer. So most of the larger organizations are taking advantage of getting their rebates while they are revamping the program and managing the program. So it kind of gives them the funding to, infuse more energy and resource into health and safety. And then they go for the final destination of becoming the safest employers in Ontario.
So
Go ahead.
there's one thing I want to add just for next steps, because you might be thinking, okay, what do we do now? So what we do is we send some information, obviously, and then the next step is to schedule a virtual. Typically, what I do is meet with the organizations virtually to walk you through the program again, to remind you, and also answer some other questions. You may have other challenges. And the other part is what I find is once you understand outside of the program, other parts that we offer, believe it or not, you may be interested in other things as well. It's not to try to oversell you, it's to provide you with this options to consider, because that's how I work with anyways, is to just offer you a solution to consider. And then I can actually calculate with you on your potential rebate of the 5 topics. And then depending on the size, and then I'm very experienced within the space of your, hotels and also with this program. So I'll be very honest with you in regards to, depending on if you have multiple locations, do you have separate WSIB numbers? Do you have one WSIB number? All of these make a difference. So if you have multiple locations with separate WSIB numbers, there could be one particular location under 100 employees for full-time that we can take advantage of the double. The other locations, we have to do a single. So these are the calculations and the conversations we can have through the Discovery virtual. And then at least this way you have something to talk about of an option with the owner or your executive committee, depending on the size of the location you are. So I would be more than happy to do that with you. Okay.
Well, thank you so much, John. And it is time for us to wrap up. Those of you who are interested in actually getting more information, please put it in the chat saying that please reach out to us for more information so that we can schedule the appointments to reach out to you. Thank you, all of you, for joining today. And I hope you're walking away with some more information than what you would have had with the Safety Excellence Program, the reasons why you should consider joining, and keep your health and safety program alive. Focus on the sustainability piece. Thank you so much for joining us. You have yourself a safe and an awesome day. And thank you, Sarah, for supporting us with this webinar today.